Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Magnus Prime. And now, since this is a primed weapon, the only way to get it is to assemble it from its primed parts, which you can either get yourself by opening specific relics or by buying the parts from other players. But since relics rotate in and out of the game quite frequently, I will just leave a link to the official Magnus Prime Wikipedia website in the video description so you can check it out and see which relics you want to go for. The Magnus Prime is a Mastery Rank 14 semi-automatic secondary pistol that does primarily impact damage, but it still has a decent amount of puncture and slash. It comes in with an absolutely fantastic 28% crit and status chance with an above average 2.8 times crit multiplier, and it sports an 8-round magazine with a 1.6 second reload. Now, the Magnus Prime is also pinpoint accurate, which is always nice, but it does kick a little bit, which is more relevant on the Prime than on the regular version because of the Prime's unique mechanic. You see, whenever you land a hit with the Prime, there is roughly about a 5% chance to get a 4-second buff called Chamber Cascade, which provides you with 100% ammo efficiency for its duration, giving you essentially infinite ammo. Now, while this absolutely skyrockets your DPS, it does make the Magnus-specific Deadly Maneuvers mod, which provides massive headshot crit chance on a dodge roll for the next 2 shots, less useful. You can of course still use it if you want to, though if you're gonna do that, I would highly recommend you pair it up with the glyph that's running a volatile setup, so you use the glyph to clear out the smaller enemies, and if you run into a bigger enemy, you can roll to trigger Deadly Maneuvers to headshot them for massive damage. But anyway, when we compare the Magnus Prime to the standard Magnus, you can see that it has faster fire rate, faster reload, better crit chance, better crit multiplier, and better status chance. So even though the damage is the same and it for some reason has a less maximum ammo, it's of course much better. Now, if you're not gonna go for Deadly Maneuvers, a nice basic build is just a hybrid with Vyro and Heat. You might be tempted to go for Hemorrhage here, but I wouldn't recommend it because number 1, the fire rate is too high to get double benefit from Hemorrhage, and number 2, the damage distribution doesn't favor impact enough to make it worth it in my opinion. So I would just stick to a basic hybrid setup like this, and if you really end up liking the weapon, you can eventually add some galvanized mods and maybe even an arcane. Now, as far as the damage goes, it's, well, a little bit all over the place because of the Chamber Cascade buff. Like, the base damage is solid enough on its own to do everything on the star chart, including sorties, but my god, when that Chamber Cascade buff kicks in, especially if you can sustain it, which isn't that difficult because, you know, you're firing very fast, so the chance of it triggering again before it runs out is pretty high, the damage goes absolutely bonkers. So while I would recommend the Magnus Prime because it's a fun gun that does decent damage, it's very RNG. The damage fluctuates a lot. Like, if you get unlucky and you don't get any procs, or it procs on the last enemy in the room, the damage is gonna be just okay. But on the other hand, if you get lucky and you get a lot of procs, the damage is gonna be absolutely fantastic. And on top of that, since the weapon isn't very popular, the Riven disposition on it tends to stay fairly high. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching, as always guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.